Hello everyone. Wow, it is officially week 1. This unboxing tonight is a little bit earlier than normal. I just had an opportunity without any of the kids around to kind of knock it out, and since we've got extra information, I feel like this first week, I took advantage of that. So for those of you that are new, my name's Katie. I'm the CSA coach in the group. I have been a CSA member for 13 or 14 years, and this I think is my 10th year as the CSA coach. So every Tuesday night after I pick up my box, I will be unloading it here live, and then we will also be posting it to a YouTube channel the following day, if not Thursday. So make sure you kind of hop in here on Tuesday if you have questions or you're not sure what something is. I just run through what all the vegetables are, what's going to go bad the fastest, if there's anything that is easy to freeze, maybe some storage tips, all that fun stuff. If you leave comments below, I definitely check back and I will answer any questions that you have. Just to kind of get started, because I know we do have a decent amount of new folks, week 1 in the season does tend to be a little lighter, I would say, in volume. I mean, this is an amazing box this week, but I know sometimes as the season goes on, those boxes get fuller and fuller. So if one week in the beginning it does seem a little light to you, just know as we move forward, there will be weeks when that box is so heavy and just stockpiled full. There can be longer waits the first few weeks, just as we work through some of those like beginning of the year issues. But tonight's Sylvania's site was amazing and so well organized. So thank you to Farmer Kurt and all the volunteers for keeping that running smoothly. Other reminders, bins need to be rinsed out and brought back clean as you can get, every week, and nothing else should go in the box besides the vegetables. So animals should not be sitting in here, all that fun stuff. Just rinse it out, put it in your trunk, and make sure you bring it back each week. Same goes for the bags. If you have a pork or a chicken share, make sure you get those bags back at some point. This is week A, so there's a week A and a week B for those of you that have those bi-weekly shares, whether it might be eggs or fruit or flowers or coffee. Fruit typically does start at the beginning of the season, but because of a late frost and some damages to some crops of cherries and peaches, fruit will be starting on week 3 and then run through the rest of the season. Fruit shares are technically only 16 weeks anyway, so usually they end early, but this year they will just be extended through the rest of the season and be starting late, if that makes sense. So you're not missing out on anything. Our farmers just kind of had to make some other arrangements to get fruit early on in the season. June 28th, our farmer does have like an open house. If you want to go visit the farm with your family, great family-friendly event. Ride some tractors, see the farm, see where your food's coming from, meet your farmers. It is from 5 to 8 on the 28th. They do ask that you RSVP just so they have an idea of who's coming. And you can find that link in the email from this past Saturday. So last thing on my just to-do list, Saturdays our farmers do send an email. I would highly recommend checking it out. It not only has the list of what's going to be in your box this week, but it also has some recipes that I put together depending on that week's box. So the recipes are not just like random recipes from the internet. They are like tried and true things that this group has kind of gone to over the past decade or so, or there might be some new things that I tried, but for the most part they're tried and true regular recipes. There also tends to be some freezer friendly things on there, or how to freeze something. Like for example, garlic scapes is a new thing for some people. There are lots of exit strategies for garlic scapes, ways to enjoy those in this week's newsletter. So make sure you check out that email. There's also information about challenges or other fun things that might be happening in the group. So we're going to talk about that first too. So beautiful box this week. Everyone is getting this cookie from the occasional baker. I feel like this has been going on now for like 3 or 4 years. It's a nice little bonus to that first week, either a snack for you to enjoy on the way home or at some other point during the week. So thank you to the occasional baker. And then to get this week started, we are going to start with Bok Choy. This beautiful Asian green here, really pretty in the box this week. We've got a challenge going on. You can post pictures of how you enjoyed your bok choy through Monday, June 22nd. How you stored it, how you cooked it, sauteed it, grilled it, steamed it, did a stir fry, whatever it is. You're going to post a picture in the group and you are going to hashtag it Battle of the Bok 26. And then our farmers will pick a winner on Monday, June 22nd. There's a fun prize when it comes to these challenges, but it's more so just like showing people what you're doing with the vegetables, because we have some people that just end up being intimidated by some of them. So this first week's challenge is with bok choy. There is not a challenge every week, just kind of sporadic throughout the season, but we figured we'd start the season off strong, showing newbies how to use the bok choy. So when I get this home, I'm going to use one of those Debbie Meyer green bags that I posted about. And I am just going to store this dry and dirty in a green bag. I'm not going to wash it before I store it. I'm actually going to throw a paper towel in this green bag with it just to absorb some of the excess moisture. That's also really, anytime you have greens that are have a little bit of moisture on them, that's going to be helpful. But I'm going to store it just as is in this green bag. It's going to be good for about a week. But if I'm looking at this week's vegetables, probably the lettuce and the bok choy are going to be on my list of things to enjoy first. So just kind of keep that in mind. Everything else is going to store a little bit longer compared to these two friends here. And then when you go to use the bok choy, you're going to cut off the end here and you're going to rinse the rest off in some cold water. If you're doing a stir fry, the bottom part of the vegetable here is going to take a little bit longer to cook versus the leafy part. So I would chop this part up, saute it first with like my carrots, onions, garlic, scapes, whatever it might be. Let it cook for a little bit longer and then add the leafy greens like you would spinach or something. So this is going to go in this green bag. Going to be good for about a week, maybe longer in here, but definitely on your to-do list with this lettuce. So let's do the lettuce next. So regular boxes are getting 2 heads of lettuce. The large boxes are getting 4. 2 options when it comes to lettuce. You can store dry and dirty, just like we did with that bok choy. So paper towel in the green bag. That is going to make it last the longest. And then when you're ready to use the lettuce, cutting off the bottom here and rinsing it in cold water and using a salad spinner to get it as dry as possible. That's the best option. It's going to last the longest. So if you know you're not going to get to this, if you know you're not going to enjoy this for the next like 2, 3, 4, 5 days, I would definitely go that route. If you know that you're going to use it tomorrow or maybe even the next day, you could go ahead and wash it tonight, cold water, use a salad spinner, throw it in a green bag with a paper towel and do it that way. But once you rinse it, you're definitely cutting some days off as far as storage time. So just kind of keep that in mind. So I am going to throw a couple paper towels in here. I've got this larger green bag. So I'm going to throw both heads of lettuce. I did post about salad boards this past week. Mason jar salads are another like meal prep strategy when we have a lot of greens, but we do tend to have a lot of lettuce the first few weeks of the season. Oh, excuse me. All right, lettuce, salad spinner, definitely a must-have with all the greens that we get during the CSA. All right, and then garlic scapes. You know what's really funny is I think that I couldn't stop coughing week 1 last year. All right, garlic scapes are hardy. You're going to store these in a green bag or a Ziploc bag. It doesn't really matter. You could throw them in your veggie drawer if you needed to. They're going to be good for a few weeks. I'm going to store them in a green bag just because I have a bunch of green bags right now, and why not? It's going to buy me some extra time. Garlic scapes are the tops of the head of garlic. So if you look at these, and you're going to use them just like you would regular garlic. Anytime a recipe calls for chopped minced garlic, you're just going to mince some garlic scapes out. So they grow on the top of the garlic head, so our farmers cut the tops off to allow for more energy to actually go into the garlic ball, but these are delicious and absolutely edible. The ends tend to be a little bit hardier, so a lot of people chop off the ends. That's what I do, just because they're a little chewy, and use most of the middle part here. They're also a great bag and freeze item, so if you don't want to use them right now, or if you're overwhelmed with them, if we get them for several weeks in a row, you can always chop these guys up, throw them in a Ziploc bag, and put them in the freezer and use them this winter. But they're great in stir fries, soups, anything that you want to use garlic in. You can also just grill them if you like the taste of garlic. So that's garlic scapes. If you're not sure how to cook with them and don't want to do that yet, there are 3 or 4 recipes. There's a garlic scape mustard, a garlic scape hummus, and a garlic scape compound butter in the recipes from this week. So shoot back to that email and check out the recipes if the garlic scapes are overwhelming you. Carrots, beautiful carrots this week. Most important thing when you get carrots home is that you chop off the tops. Otherwise, you are going to get not so delicious carrots. So you're going to separate the tops from the actual carrots. Sometimes these tops are going to be delicious and green, and sometimes they're not going to look as pretty. This week, these are great tops. There are ways that you can use the tops, like carrot top pesto. I think that's the main thing people tend to do with garlic tops, but there's lots of options. That's just the one that's coming to mind. There's a recipe for pesto in the newsletter. Pesto is a great go-to because you can freeze it in like ice cubes, and then use that pesto during the winter. But carrot top pesto is an easy go-to. If you're thinking about doing that, I would probably wait a few weeks and see if we get carrots a few weeks in a row, and then you can accumulate all the tops at once and do one big batch. You can also dry carrot tops and use them like you would parsley or something in the winter. So if you wanted to dry the carrot tops, I just hang them dry like this, let them dry for a week, maybe a little bit longer, and then crush them up, and they kind of become like a dried parsley that you can use. So most important thing is to get them off the carrots, throw them in a green bag. They're going to be good for a couple weeks in the green bag. Carrots are going to be good for weeks, so there's no major rush with the carrots. We refer to these as cracked carrots because they taste so much better than the carrots in the grocery store. When you go to use them, you're just going to give them a little rinse off. You don't have to peel them. You can if you want to, but you don't really need to. So I'm going to store these in this like fridge smart container. Another good go-to if you're invested in storing some of those veggies a little bit longer. But these are going to be good for several weeks. And then last but not least, we've got some sugar snap peas. These I'm just going to leave in this bag. Not a huge volume, so you could definitely just snack on these, but there are a couple recipes in the newsletter if you're interested. You're going to store them like this. When you go to eat them, you're just going to rinse them off in some cold water. You're going to snap off that top, peel off this little part here, and then you're good to go. You can eat the peas and the pot. Going to be good for 4 or 5 days-ish, so not a huge rush. Hopefully you'll just snack on those. Super delicious. Potted herb, first couple weeks, everyone gets a potted herb. Make sure when you pull in, you look at that list that our farmers have so you can kind of tell our volunteers what potted herb you want. Just helps things move along a little bit faster. I did basil. These potted herbs cannot stay in these containers. You definitely need to transplant them and put them in the ground or in a larger pot within a week of getting them home. So get them outside, get them in the ground, or get them in the pot when you can. And then that's it for vegetables. Like I said, fruit will be starting on week 3 and running through almost the end of the season. Cheese share this week, we've got a beautiful cheddar and a beautiful Gouda cheese. The bonus cheese for adding the cheese share last year will be coming on week 3, so they didn't forget about that, don't worry. The great thing about some of these cheeses, these are some common ones and pretty delicious, but sometimes if they do tend to build up in your fridge, the cheeses are easy to throw in the freezer and enjoy later on during the season or even during the winter. So that's it for most of the CSA stuff. I did want to quick show you what is in this chicken share. Because I got the chicken share last year. That was the first year that our farmers did it, and I was super impressed with it, volume-wise and quality-wise. So this is the chicken share. This week we've got apple bratwurst, and everything is frozen, so you can kind of use it at your leisure. We've got chicken sausage, tomato basil chicken sausage patties. So last year this was one of my family favorites. Really easy to cook even from the frozen state, so that's nice. And then there is the whole chicken. We've got chicken thighs. We've got wings. We've got drums. And then we've got a decent volume of chicken breast. So yeah, all this will kind of go in my freezer. We kind of used it sporadically and then even had some over the winter. So great volume as far as the chicken share goes. I'll be curious to see what the pork share looks like. So I encourage some of you guys to post that. All right, week 1. We're finally here. We made it through the winter. So I will see you guys next week. Feel free to post comments and questions below. But yeah, looking forward to getting started. Bye guys.